The Galactic Council chamber was filled with an air of superiority. Delegates from across the stars displayed their mightiest predators on holographic platforms. Towering beasts with razor-sharp claws, serpentine creatures with venomous fangs, and winged monstrosities capable of blotting out suns were all introduced with thunderous applause. The Emperor himself, a towering figure with scales that shimmered like molten gold, leaned back in his throne and smirked. "Humans," he drawled, "are known for their clever tongues, not their creatures. Show us your so-called predators if you dare." Captain Elena Price stood at the center of the chamber, unflinching under the scrutiny of alien eyes. Clad in the formal yet functional attire of Earth's diplomatic corps, she allowed herself a small, confident smile. She raised her head, looking directly at the Emperor. "Very well," she replied, her voice steady but tinged with amusement. "But I must warn you. Earth's apex predators are unlike anything you've encountered." The Emperor laughed, his deep, guttural tones echoing through the hall. "Spare us the theatrics, human! We've already seen your cats and dogs. Surely you can do better?" Laughter rippled through the assembly. Some delegates pulled up images of Earth's domestic animals, their faces twisting in mockery as holograms of kittens and puppies danced in front of them. Others leaned in close to their peers, whispering comments that earned further chuckles. Elena let the moment stretch, her calm demeanor unnerving even the most boisterous delegates. Finally, she tilted her head and said, "Oh, we can do better. Much better. But I have a question for you, Emperor. Do you truly wish to see what Earth is capable of?" The Emperor waved his clawed hand dismissively. "Proceed. The Council could use some entertainment." A low murmur spread through the crowd as a containment crate was wheeled into the chamber. It was unassuming at first glance, no larger than a transport pod, but the faint sound of movement within caused several delegates to shift uncomfortably in their seats. "Ladies and gentlemen of the Council," Elena began, her voice carrying the weight of anticipation, "I present to you, the tiger." The room went silent. The crate opened, and out stepped a creature that seemed almost too beautiful to be dangerous. Its orange and black striped coat gleamed under the chamber's lights. Its muscles rippled with each calculated step. Golden eyes scanned the room, unblinking, as if it understood the challenge presented to it. Then, it released a low, guttural growl that reverberated through the chamber. At first, there was confusion. A few delegates leaned forward, studying the creature intently. Then, the laughter resumed. "That's it!" an alien with insectoid features chirped. "A striped feline? It's adorable!" Another delegate scoffed, their voice dripping with derision. Elena didn't flinch. Instead, she stepped closer to the tiger, her movements deliberate and unhurried. "What you see," she said, her voice calm, "isn't just a predator. It's an apex predator. It doesn't need to be massive or grotesque. It simply needs to be perfect." Her words did little to quell the laughter, but Elena wasn't finished. She raised her hand, and the lights in the chamber dimmed. A holographic battlefield materialized, complete with rocky terrain and dense foliage. The tiger's ears twitched, its instincts immediately sharpening. "Let's give you a demonstration," she said, her tone turning razor-sharp. The murmur stopped. Delegates leaned forward as the Emperor raised an intrigued eyebrow. No one was laughing now. The moment the battlefield simulation activated, the atmosphere in the chamber shifted. Gone was the laughter and mockery. Delegates who had been smug now wore expressions of curiosity, some even of unease. The tiger stepped forward, muscles coiled and eyes gleaming with predatory focus, blending seamlessly into the simulated foliage. From the opposite side of the arena, the Emperor's champion predator materialized. A hulking, four-legged monstrosity with armored scales, 3 heads, and talons capable of shredding metal. Its roar shook the chamber, a guttural sound that seemed to promise annihilation. Whispers erupted among the delegates, their earlier confidence returning as they recognized the Empire's might. The Emperor leaned forward, smirking. "Your feline won't last 10 seconds. Elena's response was a simple shrug. "We'll see." The simulated timer began. The alien predator charged forward with astonishing speed for its size, its talons tearing through simulated trees as it closed the gap. But the tiger didn't retreat. Instead, it crouched low, its tail flicking once before it leaped to the side with a grace that left the delegates stunned. The alien beast's claws struck empty air, and the tiger landed silently, its eyes locked on its prey. There was a pause, a moment of recalibration. The alien predator turned, its three heads snarling in unison, but the tiger had already moved. It darted into the shadows of the holographic terrain, vanishing from sight. Delegates murmured in confusion, some muttering that the creature was hiding, that it lacked the courage to fight head-on. Elena allowed herself a small smile. "It's not hiding. It's hunting." The next moment proved her point. The tiger reemerged from the foliage with terrifying speed, pouncing onto the alien beast's back. Its claws dug into the armored scales, seeking weak points with surgical precision. The beast thrashed wildly, its head snapping and clawed limbs flailing, but the tiger's grip was unrelenting. With a calculated swipe, it struck one of the beast's exposed joints, causing it to stumble. Gasps filled the room. The Emperor's smirk faltered as his champion predator, once a symbol of invincibility, appeared clumsy and vulnerable. The tiger didn't give it a chance to recover. It leapt away, retreating back into the shadows to assess its next move, its intelligence and patience on full display. The alien predator roared in frustration, its massive frame smashing through simulated trees as it searched for its elusive opponent. It was a stark contrast to the tiger's quiet, measured movements. The delegates began to shift in their seats, their earlier amusement replaced with a dawning realization. This wasn't a contest of brute strength, it was a demonstration of strategy and precision. When the tiger struck again, it was from an angle no one had anticipated. It lunged at one of the predator's heads, its claws raking across an unarmored section of its neck. The beast recoiled, blood-like fluid spilling from the wound, and the tiger landed gracefully a few feet away, unscathed. The chamber was silent now, save for the sounds of the simulated battlefield. Even the Emperor sat rigid, his golden eyes narrowing as he watched his champion falter. The alien predator made one final attempt to attack, charging at the tiger with a ferocity born of desperation. But the tiger anticipated the move. It sidestepped at the last moment, and with a powerful leap, it delivered a killing blow to the beast's exposed throat. The holographic predator collapsed, its body fading into pixelated light as the simulation ended. The tiger stood alone in the center of the battlefield, its chest heaving as it let out a triumphant roar. It turned to face the delegates, its golden eyes locking onto each of them as if daring them to challenge its supremacy. Elena broke the silence. "Strength alone isn't enough. Precision, patience, and intelligence, that's what makes a predator truly apex." The Emperor's claws dug into the arms of his throne. This is nothing more than a parlor trick." Elena raised an eyebrow. "Is it? Because if you think this is impressive, you haven't even begun to see what humanity is capable of." The tiger's demonstration had been more than just a spectacle. It was a statement. And the room was left with no doubt, Earth's predators were nothing to mock. As the tiger's roar faded, the silence in the chamber was palpable. Delegates who had earlier jeered now exchanged uneasy glances. The Emperor, still seated, attempted to mask his discomfort, but his tightly clenched jaw betrayed him. Elena allowed herself a moment to observe their reactions before stepping forward. "You've now seen one of Earth's apex predators in action," she said, her voice cutting through the tension. "But let me clarify something. The tiger is extraordinary, yes, but it's only a fraction of what makes Earth, and humanity, unique." A ripple of confusion spread through the room. One alien delegate, a reptilian with glittering green scales, hissed, "What are you implying, human? That your kind are predators as well?" Elena's smile returned, but it was sharper now. "Precisely. Humans are the apex predator of Earth, not because of physical might, but because of our ability to adapt, to think, and to innovate. While the tiger hunts with claws and instinct, we hunt with strategy, tools, and collaboration." She gestured to the holographic battlefield, now dormant. "The tiger's actions you just witnessed? That's the result of millions of years of evolution. Humanity has not only learned to coexist with such creatures but also to harness their strengths and integrate them into our understanding of survival. Another delegate, a bulbous creature with shimmering tentacles, scoffed. Harness? You claim dominance over creatures like this? Absurd. A species so fragile couldn't possibly. Elena interrupted smoothly. Fragile? Perhaps. But that fragility has been our greatest strength. When faced with stronger predators, humanity didn't perish, we adapted. We turned predators into partners, environments into allies, and weaknesses into opportunities. She paused, letting her words sink in before continuing. Consider this: while the tiger's claws are its weapon, humanity's weapon is its mind. We analyze, predict, and strategize. And when necessary, we enhance. With a flick of her wrist, she activated a new projection. This one showcased human achievements, images of hunters working in coordinated groups, early humans wielding spears, and modern researchers collaborating with animals to achieve incredible feats. One image lingered longer than the others: a diver swimming alongside a great white shark, an embodiment of both fearlessness and ingenuity. Let me share a simple truth with you, Elena said, her tone steady. Earth's most dangerous predators aren't the ones you've mocked or dismissed. They're the ones you didn't see coming. And they've thrived because of humans. The Emperor's voice cut through the growing murmurs. You speak of strategy and tools, but what good are they against raw power? Intelligence means nothing in the face of overwhelming strength. Elena turned to face him directly. Then perhaps you misunderstand the essence of power, Emperor. True power isn't about brute force. It's about control. It's about knowing when to strike and when to hold back. Humanity has mastered this balance, and it's why we've not only survived but thrived. She gestured to the tiger, now calm and poised, as if awaiting its next challenge. This creature you see here? It's a symbol, yes, but it's also a lesson. Its power lies in its discipline, its precision. These are traits humans have learned to emulate and amplify. Another delegate, one with crystalline skin that refracted light, leaned forward. Are you suggesting that humans are more dangerous than the predators you've shown us? Elena's smile grew. I'm not suggesting. I'm stating it as fact. And if you need proof, look no further than your own history. How many species have you faced that could adapt as quickly as humans? That could turn adversity into advantage? That could outthink, outlast, and outmaneuver even your most formidable foes? The silence in the room deepened. Elena continued, her voice soft but unyielding. Humanity's greatest weapon isn't strength. It's the ability to see beyond the immediate, to plan for the long game. We don't just survive. We conquer. And we do so with a blend of intelligence, collaboration, and yes, the occasional partnership with predators like the tiger. She took a step closer to the Emperor, her gaze unwavering. So I ask you, Emperor, and all of you here, do you truly believe that humanity's predators are weak? Or have you simply failed to grasp the depth of what we're capable of? For a moment, no one spoke. Then, slowly, the delegates began to exchange murmurs. The tone had shifted, not of mockery, but of cautious respect. The Emperor, though visibly unsettled, managed to maintain his composure. You make bold claims, Captain Price, he said finally. But words and demonstrations are one thing. Reality is another. Elena inclined her head. Then perhaps it's time you learned the reality of what humanity truly represents. The chamber remained heavy with tension, the weight of Elena's words settling uncomfortably among the delegates. The Emperor's golden gaze burned with a mix of indignation and intrigue. For the first time, the smug confidence of the Galactic Council seemed shaken. Elena allowed the silence to linger, knowing its power. Finally, the Emperor rose, his massive frame towering over the assembly. His claws tapped rhythmically on the edge of his throne as he addressed Elena. You have spoken eloquently, human, and shown us the capabilities of your so-called apex predators. But words and demonstrations are not enough to prove dominance. Are you prepared to put your claims to the test? Elena's expression didn't waver. What kind of test do you have in mind, Emperor? A tournament, he declared, his voice echoing through the chamber. Your predators against the fiercest creatures from our empire. A true contest of strength, skill, and survival. Let us see if your earthborn beasts can stand against the champions of the stars. There were murmurs of approval from the delegates, their confidence momentarily restored. A tournament promised entertainment, validation, and the chance to reassert their superiority. Yet, despite the renewed bravado, many couldn't shake the image of the tiger standing victorious moments earlier. Elena folded her arms and tilted her head, a subtle smile playing on her lips. A tournament, you say? Interesting. But I wonder, Emperor, do you really wish to see the full extent of Earth's capabilities? Or are you merely hoping to salvage your pride? The Emperor's claws stopped tapping, his gaze narrowing. You question my resolve, human? I question your understanding, Elena replied evenly. The tiger was just the beginning. If you wish to challenge Earth, you must be prepared for what follows. Because while the tournament might showcase our predators, it will ultimately highlight the true apex predator of Earth. The Emperor leaned forward. And what, exactly, is that? Elena met his gaze, her voice calm but firm. Humans. We are the architects of this ecosystem, the ones who have shaped and harnessed its power. You may face our predators in your arena, but in doing so, you will also face us, our strategies, our innovations, and our relentless drive to win. The room fell silent again. The delegates exchanged uneasy glances, the implications of Elena's words dawning on them. It was no longer just a contest of creatures. It was a challenge to their very perception of humanity. The Emperor finally straightened, his expression unreadable. Very well, he said. If your kind wishes to stand behind its claims, we will arrange this tournament. But know this, failure will mean the end of your arrogance. Elena gave a small nod. Then let it begin. But remember, Emperor, this isn't arrogance. It's confidence backed by millennia of evolution. The Emperor waved a claw, signaling to his attendants to begin preparations. As they hurried to carry out his orders, the delegates continued to murmur, their bravado increasingly tempered by doubt. Elena stood in the center of the chamber, her posture relaxed but her gaze sharp, observing their reactions. After a moment, she stepped forward, her voice cutting through the noise. Before you rush to conclusions, let me offer you a parting thought. Humanity's strength doesn't lie in isolation. It lies in understanding, adapting, and overcoming. We don't just survive against predators, we thrive alongside them, learning from their strengths and mitigating their weaknesses. She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. This tournament may be about Earth's creatures, but it will ultimately be a demonstration of something far greater, the ingenuity and resilience of humanity itself. The Emperor scoffed lightly. We shall see if your confidence holds true, Captain Price. But for now you may leave. Prepare your predators, and yourself, for what lies ahead. Elena inclined her head respectfully. As you wish, Emperor. But a word of advice, prepare yourself as well. You're about to witness a side of humanity you've never encountered before. With that, she turned and walked away, the tiger trailing silently behind her. As the chamber doors closed, the tension remained, leaving the delegates and the Emperor to ponder what they had just witnessed, and what was yet to come. In the silence that followed, one delegate, a creature with luminescent blue skin, leaned toward the Emperor and whispered, Do you think the humans can truly back their claims? The Emperor's gaze lingered on the now closed doors. Humans are unpredictable. That alone makes them dangerous. We shall see if their unpredictability translates into victory, or their undoing. But deep in his chest, a faint unease began to stir, a flicker of doubt that even he couldn't entirely suppress.